If you've just brought a new puppy home, you already know the incredible joy they bring. But you probably also know that heartbreaking crying that starts the moment you turn out the lights. It's stressful, it's frustrating, and honestly, it can make you feel helpless. But don't you worry. In this explainer, we are going to get to the very root of why your puppy is crying, and then I'm going to walk you through a step-by-step plan to get you both sleeping peacefully right through the night. You know the scene. It is the middle of the night, that little whimpering sound starts up, and it's so easy to feel overwhelmed. But here's the most important first step. We have to reframe what's happening. That crying, it isn't your puppy trying to be difficult, it's communication. They are desperately trying to tell you something important, and our job is to learn how to speak their language. So to understand that language, we've got to get inside their little head. This is the crucial why behind it all. Because you see, once you understand the instincts that are driving the crying, the solution becomes so much clearer. This isn't about discipline, it's about understanding and meeting their needs. When you boil it all down, there are really 5 core reasons your puppy might be crying at night. It could be anything from loneliness and the stress of a new place to something as simple as needing a potty break. But one of them, is by far the biggest driver of them all. And here it is. The number one cause is separation anxiety. And you have to understand, this is a hardwired survival instinct. For a tiny little puppy, being alone means being vulnerable to danger. So that cry you're hearing, it's literally a biological alarm bell asking for help. They are not trying to annoy you, they're trying to survive. So our whole goal is to work with that instinct, not fight against it. Of course, sometimes the reason is a whole lot simpler. I mean, just look at this chart. A tiny 8-week-old puppy can only hold its bladder for, 2 or 3 hours? That's it. So when they cry at 3 a.m., it might just be their very polite way of saying, "Excuse me, I really have to go." This isn't a suggestion, it's just biology. Okay, so now that we get the why, let's dive into the how. We're shifting gears now into the practical, actionable stuff. I want you to think of this section as your complete toolkit for building a confident, secure puppy who happily sleeps right through the night. These first 3 steps, they work together like a powerful combo. First, you want to create a cozy little den. A crate with some soft bedding is perfect. Then add a blanket that smells like their mom or littermates. And finally, for those first few nights, put that crate right next to your bed. See, these 3 things work together to send one crystal clear message to your puppy. You are not alone. You are totally safe. Oh man, dogs absolutely thrive on predictability. A consistent evening routine, maybe some gentle play, a final trip outside, a calm cuddle, and then into the crate. It all signals to their brain that it's time to wind down and go to sleep. This isn't just about a schedule, it's a powerful psychological cue. This one is just so important. That final potty break before bed, it's non-negotiable. But if they do wake you up in the middle of the night, your mission is simple. Get them outside, let them do their business, and bring them straight back to the crate. Keep the lights dim, use a quiet voice, make it the most boring trip ever. This teaches them that nighttime is for sleeping, not for partying. Okay, listen up, because this next part is absolutely critical. This might be the single most important psychological point we're going to cover. Your reaction to the crying is actively teaching your puppy what works and what doesn't. You are training them with every single interaction, whether you realize it or not. And this chart lays out the 2 paths your training can take perfectly. If you rush over the very second they whimper, their brain learns a simple lesson. Hey, crying works. It brings my human to me. But if you wait for even a tiny 2-second pause in the crying before you go to them, you teach a completely different lesson. Oh, being quiet brings my human. You see the difference? You're not rewarding the crying, you're rewarding the moment of quiet. It's a game changer. Now let's talk about fine-tuning their little environment. You can definitely comfort them with a soft voice or by just resting your hand on the crate, but try to avoid taking them out just for a cuddle. A white noise machine can also work wonders to drown out any startling sounds. And of course, make sure they've had plenty of play and mental exercise during the day. Because as they say, a tired puppy is a sleepy puppy. I honestly cannot stress this enough. This is not an overnight fix. You are literally unwinding a deeply ingrained survival instinct and building a brand new habit from scratch. So the single most important ingredient for your success is your own consistency. Every single night, the same routine. Every single night, the same calm response. And hey, let's set some realistic expectations here. You should start seeing some real improvement in just a few nights, but it can easily take 2 to 3 weeks for that new routine to become fully locked in. So don't get discouraged if you have a bad night here and there. Just stick with the plan. It works. All right, we've covered what you should be doing. Now let's do a quick little rapid fire round on what not to do. Avoiding these common pitfalls is honestly just as important as following the steps correctly. So, as we just talked about, this is the classic mistake. It feels like the kind thing to do, but what you're accidentally doing is teaching your puppy that crying is the magic button they need to press to get your attention. Remember the rule: wait for that brief pause. But on the flip side of that, you can't just ignore them completely. Part of this whole process is you learning to tell the difference between a little, "I'm lonely" whimper and an urgent, "I really need to go out now" cry. If it's been a few hours, you should probably assume it could be a real need for the toilet. Now, this one might seem a little counterintuitive, but a big open room can feel really scary and overwhelming to a tiny puppy. A small, enclosed crate or a pen feels much more like a safe, secure den to them. You want to start small, and then you can gradually increase their freedom as they grow more confident. Think about it. A big, wild game of fetch or tug of war right before bed gets their adrenaline pumping like crazy, making it so much harder for them to settle down. That last hour before bed should be all about winding down, not winding up. So, as we start to wrap this up, let's just reframe our goal one last time. The objective here isn't just to get a quiet puppy. The real payoff, the thing we're truly aiming for, is something so much deeper. And this really says it all, doesn't it? Your crying puppy isn't being bad. They are a baby in a brand new world, and they're just trying to figure out if they're safe. By responding with patience and structure and empathy, you're not just stopping a noise. You are teaching them that you are their source of safety. You're building the foundation of a trusting bond that's going to last a lifetime. I know it feels really tough right now, but please, trust the process. Be consistent, be patient, and try to understand what your puppy is truly saying. Because if you do that, I promise you, those long, noisy nights will absolutely turn into peaceful ones for both of you.